Hey everyone, welcome back to Hit Wicket, and today we have some interesting news out of the BCCI camp. So, as I'm sure a lot of you may have heard or may not have, after India's back-to-back series losses, first to New Zealand at home and then to Australia away, the BCCI has announced their master plan to fix everything. And no, it's not better coaching, more fitness drills, or hiring a mental conditioning expert. It's a list of 10 golden rules which is as confusing as some of their batting collapses. So let's cut right into it. Number one, participation in domestic matches. Now, this one I do appreciate. I think players like Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Ravi Jadeja, they should be playing first class matches where and when they can, of course. I think I read a stat where Virat Kohli's last first class game was in 2012. Rohit Sharma was 2018, I think it was something like that. Ravi Jadeja 2020. You do need your marquee players playing more first class cricket, not just for the system itself, but also for their own game. Like players like Rohit and Virat who are struggling right now, they should go back to first class and earn their way back into that side. Show that they're still like world class players. Because if they are, they should be dominating state cricket even when they're not playing well. The second goal is traveling separately with their families. Very, very interesting of a strategy. I think if you just look at Australia as a side, they're very much a unit, and not just the players, but the players' families, the players' wives, the players' kids. They're very much a like extended family, and they really encourage that. You can see it by the way they play, and their results you can say have been as good as any team. They've probably had the most success of any team in the last few years. So number three, an excess baggage limit. Excess baggage. Look, big tours, people might need more baggage. Each player is very different. You can't expect Virat Kohli to have the same baggage as Ravi Jadeja. Virat Kohli probably has like a whole suitcase full of hair products, beard products. Ravi Jadeja probably doesn't have that since he doesn't even cut his hair. But yeah, it's all very, that's an interesting one. Number four is restriction on personal staff. So it looks like Virat and his barber won't be able to come anymore on tour. He's just gonna have to grow that beard out now. But yeah, it's that's an interesting one, and I don't mind it to be honest, because basically it looks like they're trying to make the senior players not take as much advantage of their freedom and be more like normal players, earn their spot, follow all the rules, for example, that they're not bigger than the team. Number five, sending your bags to the center of excellence. Now that is, I don't know if it's a breach of privacy or what, but I don't know if that includes your whole kit room and your suitcase, because if it's everything, that's, yeah, a bit privacy concerning. Number six, which I think is the best one on the list, is attendance at practice sessions. This is extremely important. Why that's not already mandatory is a bit confusing to me. I think they should be attending practice sessions regardless, especially when they're not playing well. So that's like that should already be there. Not sure why it wasn't. Number seven, restriction on personal shoots during the tour. Well, it looks like there's not going to be any more Instagram reels for a lot of them. The only action shots will be allowed on the field now. And to be honest, that's a big part of a lot of their cricket. I think a lot of them obviously have a lot of media. I guess that means they're going to have to not get paid for those either. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes down with the team. Number eight, which is a big controversial one, family travel policy. Looks like there's going to be some rules on who you can travel with, how you can travel, how long you can travel with, like how long they can stay and be in contact with, and already the previous ruling about them not being able to fly together. I don't like that. I think when you're on a long tour, whether it's successful or unsuccessful, you want to celebrate the good and the bad times with your family because they're the ones who supported you before you were like a famous cricketer or whatever in this scenario. And they're the ones who you come back to after you've failed or succeeded again, like when you go home, for example. We'll see how it goes. Number nine, participation in official BCCI engagements. That's a simple one. I think these engagements are always very boring for the players, but it's something that they should be doing anyway. It's a thing like the Australian cricket team always has to go visit the Prime Minister in Canberra. Those simple things, I think, yeah, they should be doing anyway. And number 10 is completion of tours. Now, whether this was just put in there after Ravi Ashwin retired halfway through the tour is a interesting one. But again, I didn't know players could leave halfway through a tour. Ashwin is obviously a separate case because he retired, and players obviously can retire halfway through a tour. I don't even know if I've heard of a player leaving halfway through a tour. I thought that is again that shouldn't be a rule. It should just be a thing that people know. So there you have it. BCCI's grand blueprint to bring Indian cricket back to glory. But in all seriousness, the Indian cricket team is not a crap team. I'm not sure why the BCCI is in panic stations because they haven't lost two series in a row for, I think, maybe 10, 15 years. And yeah, it is a big moment that they've lost two series, but they're not a bad team. Like in the New Zealand tour, they were pretty close in two or three of those games. And in the Australia tour, the series was still alive up until that last session. They're not a bad team. They're a good team. They just need to improve, and they're going through a bit of a transition phase with new players. So the BCCI just has to accept that, move on. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this news, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.
It's the calm before the storm. Things aren't as they were.